All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Tuesday morning Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody had an awesome Monday. All right. So let's get to it. As always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call. Oops. Sorry about that. You guys probably couldn't hear me too well. Awesome Monday. And ready for this week to get cracking. So as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So let's see. Make sure I got everybody unmuted. What we're going to do, we'll take a look at some fundamentals relatively quickly. Got a couple things moving and shaking. It's been interesting with the pound. Then we will dive into the charts. So drop me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay, and if you can see my trading economic screen. All right, beautiful, appreciate it. So, European stocks. European stock market paired gains on Tuesday with pan-European stocks 600 adding 0.3%, and German DAX 40 rising about 0.8%. After the Bank of England said that a report in the Financial Times about a new delay to the start of its sale of the government bonds was inaccurate. Earlier, the FT, Financial Times, had reported that the UK central bank might hold off on winding down its holdings of the UK gilts to help stabilize the bond market. The news came a day after Finance Minister Hunt announced a reversal in Prime Minister Truss's entire economic plan. If you guys are watching the news over the past couple of days, there's been a lot of back and forth. Financial Minister got let go. Here they're talking about Truss's entire economic plan is being reversed. So there's a ton of back and forth happening with the pound, and you've seen that in the markets as well. And the news came elsewhere. Data showed German investor morale in October remained close to 14-year lows. So tons of back and forth happening over in the UK. All right. So something that we'll definitely keep our eyes on. This talks more about that conversation. Iron ore falls to 11-month low, right? And Benny sent an article last night regarding the dollar. Let's see if we can find that. That was a while ago. One second, let me pull up that article regarding the dollar. Not sure if everybody had a chance to read that post from the Telegram. There we go. Dollar index held below 112 on Tuesday, struggling to gain traction as risk appetite returned to the markets with a reversal of almost all of UK's planned tax cuts helped the sentiment. The most pronounced selling activity was against the New Zealand dollar, which rallied on higher than expected Q3 inflation numbers, followed by Australian dollar, which gained on hawkish remarks from central bank officials. The dollar also held recent gains against the British pound, following UK's U-turn in the policy, while scaling 32-year highs versus the yen, as Japan authorities declined to comment whether they are conducting stealth intervention. Meanwhile, the greenback remains supported by expectations that the Federal Reserve will tighten policy further and get ahead of inflation. All right. So got some back and forth there. Some retracements happening in the market, right? As that sentiment continues to bounce back and forth. So over to calendar. Over to the calendar. Okay. We had monetary minutes come from Australia last night. It was more of a dovish tone, right? They're watching the markets. They will continue to increase interest rates, but they don't see those rate hikes being very large, right? There'll be smaller hikes. They're still looking to see the impact on their recent hikes in the market, and they're saying that the impacts haven't been seen yet. So more of a dovish tone coming out of Australia later in the evening last night over here in the Eastern time zone. All right. And this is that CPI data that talked about in that article, 2.2%. All right. For the New Zealand dollar. So coming in this week, we don't have a ton. Today should be relatively quiet. Yeah, relatively quiet. Tomorrow we got CPI coming out of the UK. We have CPI coming out of Canada. And then we have unemployment numbers and employment change coming out of Australia. So tomorrow will be a pretty high volume day potentially. And then on Thursday, we have Philly Fed Manufacturing Index at 8:30. Retail sales for the pound, retail sales for the Canadian dollar. Okay, so relatively a slower week when it comes to news announcements. So some of these retracements that we're seeing, right, we'll see if those continue. All right, so any questions from a fundamental perspective? Oh. All right, so let's hop over. We'll take a look at setups that were posted into the Telegram. We have the New Zealand dollar, the Aussie dollar, and the Swiss yen. We'll take a look at those to see where those are. And then we will take a look at some other pairs as well. Here on the dollar index, this is the 4-hour, right? Trying to continue this reversal, right? Trying to continue this retracement, but we're getting some consolidation here in this zone. Right, this is the 4-hour. We'll kind of monitor things from this perspective. That's the range there, but in the shorter term, we're just hovering right here, right here in this range. So we'll see how much bouncing around we get here to see at some point, be it later in the week, or potentially sometime next week, we get a breakout in one direction or the other. All right, so just sideways movement right now coming out of the DXY. Okay, so nothing much doing there, but that's what the report talked about. So we could see potentially, right? We did get a 38.2 retracement off this 4-hour fib, but there is potential for price to come back down to at least this this monthly support level here, right? Already held once, could potentially see it come down to that level again as we bounce in this range a little bit, moving through the beginning or the middle of this month of October. Okay, so we'll keep our eyes on the DXY as we continue to move. All right, so let's take a look at that New Zealand dollar. And Benny posted a 4-hour fib, right? 118, 127 zone. Let's go back to the daily and see where we sit. All right, so from a daily perspective, we got a 382. Okay, got a 38.2 retracement. And we came down just shy of the daily D extension and just shy of this monthly support level. Okay, just shy of that monthly support level. Not an all-time low, but we're getting to some extreme levels here, right? So we're getting a bit of a retracement right now. Strong move to the downside, some consolidation happening. So we want to see if we get a retracement to come back and at least retest this daily level here, right? And we'll see if it pushes higher, but at least retest this daily level that we broke through here, okay? So that's a daily look on there, back to the 4, and this is what that looks like. This is what that looks like, right? So that daily level would be the B boundary, okay? Now, there's potential for us to get a nice deeper retracement off of this, right? We'll have some levels to break through. Be nice if we got price to push back up here to this 62-cent level. We'll see what happens in this cluster of resistance here as we move in this retracement phase, okay? But this is the fib that we're looking at off of that post out of the Telegram, right? Looking to see price continue to make its way to the upside here. Okay. So we'll continue to watch and see how the week progresses. Okay. Could see something like that, at least getting to that 38.2, potentially higher. Okay. So that's the 4-hour look. Give me 1 second. All right. So that's the 4-hour look there. Okay. It's the 4-hour look. Let's drop to the 1. And on the 1, actually, let's do this. Back to the 4. We'll pull these out for a second. And that 1-hour fib is going to come here. All right, so our 1-hour fib will run from the bottom. And this is where we sit, right? Matching the extension off of a 618 retracement is here at 57,417, right? So we're looking for a continued push to the upside, right? Which falls in line with our higher time frame analysis, okay? So looking for this to continue to move to the upside. We got a little bit of a retracement, retesting that B boundary zone, okay? But we'll look for this to continue to press to the upside, right? And we're going to track this off the 4-hour time frame, okay? So that's the New Zealand dollar. Any questions on this one?
Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well, Desi. How are you?
I am good. Where did you start your daily fib, please?
Daily fib from this high here.
Okay. I think I started mine higher.
You ran yours higher? Let's take a look at it.
From the weekly high.
Yours looks like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a larger move, for sure. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, definitely a larger move, which this smaller wave kind of plays into this thought process though, right? So if we get a shallow retracement back to this 382, right? I'm sorry, this 236 level, right?
Yeah.
Even to this next daily level, which would be a deeper retracement on the 4-hour, right? And then price pushes into that 118, 127 zone, kind of plays into some of these smaller wave fibs as well, hitting some of these lower levels. So I follow you there.
Okay.
Yep, I follow you. I just I chose to take these smaller ones because it's been such a long move. So that's why I was watching these smaller waves here.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. 4. And from there. Okay. And that's that 118, 127 zone. All right. So that 118 and 127 zone off that fib that you had, Desi, was down in this area, which falls in line with that D extension. So if we get a pullback to at least that 382, right, that would make sense. Or even that 236, and then price breaking that monthly support level and getting down to that zone.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Good eye on that. All right. Any other questions on New Zealand dollar? No? Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody.
How you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Glad to have you. Anything else that you saw from a fundamental perspective, bro? Or any thoughts on that back and forth coming out of the UK?
No, man, that's about the only, man. I had never seen nothing like this. But what a mess. What a complete mess. So we'll I don't know. I'm just watching, seeing what happens next out of the UK.
Yeah, for sure. Cool deal, man. Glad to have you this morning. That there. All right, so let's take a look at this Aussie dollar. We'll see how much we get through today. Excuse me. I do want to take a look at some of these yens as well. But Aussie dollar. That's on the 4, right? We're in that 118, 127 zone as well. Trying to make our way back up, right? So let's bounce to the daily. On the daily, we're in that zone as well. Okay, so this is a daily look. Our daily fib, shallow retracement, pushing to that 118 and 127 zone. We're getting some consolidation. We'll see if we're able to push back up. Now, these are going to be likely could be dependent on that dollar, right? So if these dollar crosses retrace, that means that the DXY will also be retracing, right? So pushing lower. So that we could see that if the risk sentiment continues to increase. Okay, we could see that dollar retrace a little further. Okay, so we'll watch these key levels to see how deep of a retracement we get on these crosses and on that DXY. Okay, but 118, 127 zone, right, at a level of daily support that we broke back above. Okay. Kanye wants to talk about it. He wants to talk about it. It broke back above this daily level. We'll see if we get back to retest this the 63, 623. And if we're able to break that, then we'll look at this deeper retracement to happen, coming at least back to the $67 level. Okay. So we'll continue to watch that. So on the 4 hour, right? Play that was posted in the Telegram, Benny posted, right? This is where we are. Shallow retracement pushed into that 118, 127 zone, gave us almost a double bottom scenario here, right? And we got that nice push out, right? We closed back above the 62 cents. Okay, getting a little bit of a retracement now. We'll see if we get this continuation and a push higher. Okay, so that's the look there on the 4. And then as we drop to the 1, this is the fib on the 1, right? This one is coming down, but we're making our way higher. So if we get back and retest the 63 cent level, right, we'll take that A out, right? But we created a new AB boundary here, and then we got the flip, right? So as price continues to make its way higher, we'll take that A out, and we'll get a new set of fibs running to the upside, like so. Okay. Matching the extension off of the sub fib is in line with that daily resistance level, right? You got a 382 retracement. So that gives you some insight there on where price is headed. Okay, you guys follow me on that?
So I got a question because I hesitated on this last night.
Yeah.
This is one to where I stayed out of it once all the news and stuff came and I became uninterested. But when price is slowly creeping up, I'm still looking for this to be in the down trend. So we're just looking for this to get to a higher point to take back down, right? Or for complete reversal.
Yep. My bias on the dollar is still strong, right? I still see the dollar continuing to move to the upside. The Fed hasn't changed their tone in any way, shape, or form. So I'm seeing all of this just as retracements, right? And it's just a matter of how deep that retracement goes. If we break through this level, we could see this next level here, right? But that's all it is, just retracement. So if you don't want to play this move back to the upside, that's cool, right? Just wait for a high price, be it here on the 4 hour, right? Or if you're tracking it off the 1, right? Watch these sub fibs. Well, this is actually the primary fib on the 1 hour, right? Watch these fibs, wait for this A to get taken out, and then you'll have your primary fibs running to the upside, and then wait for your 80-20 setup at a higher level to then play it back to the downside.
Okay, yeah, because I was waiting on that 4-hour deep retracement level to
Yeah.
get back in, and I wasn't for sure on playing this back to the upside. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. If you got any doubts, man, hey, just sit and watch it. Just sit and watch it. Right. So we'll continue to monitor to see how far it pushes, but looking at least that 63,623 level. If we break that, then we'd definitely be headed higher. Okay. So we'll continue to monitor. Good questions though, right? Any other questions on the Aussie dollar? No. All right, cool deal. Swiss yen. We'll run through some of these yen crosses mixed in with the dollar crosses. So this Swiss yen has been an interesting one, man. From a higher time frame perspective, right? Pushing into this 118, 127 zone, right? 151. D extension is quite a ways away at 176. Now, the Bank of Japan, the article that I read, they haven't said whether they're going to intervene. Haven't said whether they're going to intervene, but as we look at all these yens, all of them continue to push, right, against the yen, right? So the yen continues to fall. Actually, before I look at the Swiss yen, we'll go to the dollar yen. This is what everything is being based off of, right? So this dollar yen, it's on the 1 hour time frame. Put this up. Right. So we talked about this last week, and we haven't gotten a break of this trend line yet, right? And this is a pretty aggressive inner trend line, and it's still pushing to the upside, right? On the daily time frame, 118, 127 zone, and we're pushing through it, right? 149, 185, headed towards this 150 level. Okay. Now, some folks are betting on this 150 being a key level for the Bank of Japan, right? This 150 level, okay, is we're at all-time highs right now, right? 147, 634. Let's go back just to make sure, right? This was an all-time high here that we broke, right? So we're in new territory on this dollar yen. So we'll see if the round number of 150, if the Bank of Japan steps in. But they did say, the Bank of Japan did say that their stance has not changed. They're looking to make sure that sharp movements don't occur, right? The market isn't moving erratically. And if the market does start to move erratically, then they will step in to intervene, right? So we're at 149, 189 right now, still pushing to the upside, okay? With no signs of that changing just yet, right? So we get back to the daily time frame here, and we're pushing, okay? So that level, we'll take that out now, okay? Because we broke through that zone, but still in that 80-20 scenario off the daily time frame on this UJ. So we'll see as we creep to these higher levels if the Bank of Japan steps in. Okay, so we'll highlight this 150 level just so we know where it is. Okay, and we'll watch that level. But price is pressing to the upside here. Okay, so as we move back to the 4, okay, we hit the D extension on the 4, right, which we had that noted as well in that zone. So D extension on the 4 is hit. We're still in the 80-20 scenario on the daily, right? This sharp movement here, we'll see if this was some sort of step in by the Bank of Japan. Not sure, but all of the yens had some sort of sharp movement like this within the last couple of hours. All right, so we'll continue watching that there. The 150 level is not far away. So as we get down to the 1, This last push to the upside pushed us into that 118, 127 zone. That 150 is in line with the 1 hour fib here. Okay, so shallow retracement at 118 and 127 zone on the 4. We got this push down, 38 to retracement, right? So we could be headed higher to get to that 1 hour D extension as well. Okay, so we'll watch these closely. All right, watch these yens closely as the New York session opens. Okay, but things are starting to get interesting. Okay, things are starting to get interesting. We can run a couple new trend lines to the upside here, right, to monitor the momentum, but that spike down just retested that inner trend line there. Okay, so that's where we stand on the UJ. We're getting the high levels, right? If the dollar retraces, right, that could help this out a little bit, right? Some profit taking that might occur, but the Bank of Japan may step in as well. Okay, so keep your eyes on this one closely. I dropped the cloud on there as well, and we can watch the cloud to get some additional confirmation from the cloud also. Okay, but we'll watch this 147 level as a potential kind of stopping point, right? Because that could just give us a retracement back to here. Okay, now if we break through that, then we'll look for some lower levels to happen, but at least back to this 147, 634 level, which will give us a nice deep retracement here on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, you guys follow me on all of that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
sweet. Cool deal. Cool deal. All right, so keep our eyes on that UJ. Mary wants to take a look at the dollar Swiss real quick. Pulling back on the 1. All right, let's bounce back to the daily. All right, a lot of sideways movement. We got that head and shoulders pattern to play out there, pushing to the upside, right? So now, let's see here. In a retracement phase right now, but this is that pattern that's playing out. So off of this harmonic fib, still got a ways to go, right? So ultimately, we're looking up, right? But we could just be in a retracement now on the lower time frames, okay? So overall, bias is still bullish, just looking for a low price, potentially add to if you're not in this already. And if you are in it, a low price if you're not in it already to get in, and a low price to add to if you are already in it, all right? So matching the extension is up in this zone here, okay? So as we drop to the 4, zoom out, take that off. And let's look at our fib to the upside. Those got taken out. Run it from there, bang, okay? So it's in at a 382 retracement right now, right? Could be in for potentially a head and shoulders pattern here. All right. See if we get a deeper retracement on this. Okay. See if we get a deeper retracement on that, right? We get that deeper retracement, potentially even coming down to this this daily support at 97 cents, right? We'd love to see that to give us that low price to get long. Okay. So looking at potentially more downside here just for a deeper retracement. Okay. But overall, bias is long. Right, and that deeper retracement puts us in line. The extension, also in line with that daily inverted head and shoulders pattern. The extension as well, right, in that zone, and then push higher. Okay, so overall, that's the bias there. So right now, I'm getting a push to the upside, but that push to the upside could be temporary. We could get a deeper push down before we get price to continue to the long side. Okay, so let's drop to the 1, see if we get any confirmation there. Okay. Those got taken out from the fib here. Okay. Right. So similar look from that 4 hour, right? Deep retracement, 8-6 level. If we get an 8-6 retracement, it puts us in line with that daily D extension, right? 786, 8-6 retracement puts us in this 118, 127 zone, which is in line with that daily D extension here. Okay. So, excuse me. See that head and shoulders pattern a little bit more clearly there, right? So that's what I'm looking at here is push up and then another slight push to the downside. Okay. Questions on this dollar Swiss? What we can do is this. Nice deep retracement here off this head and shoulder fib, right? 50%, 618 level, and then look for that move back down. Okay. You're welcome, Mary. You're welcome. All right. So keep your eyes on that one. Could be a nice play to the downside, right? To the downside, 150, 200 pips, and then we can look to get long for another 350, right? So potentially further than that as well. Okay. So that's the dollar Swiss. Let's take a look at this Oz. We'll stay with the dollar pairs. Look at the dollar CAD. Dollar CAD, right? This is the 1 hour look. We got a 618 retracement. Matching D extension is here at 140. And we just got a little bit of range action happening right now. Okay, that's on the one. Come back to the daily. Looking at it from this perspective, right? We got a fresh AB boundary, shallow retracement. We got some consolidation happening. Close below the trend line, right? Pulling back a little bit. So we could be in for more of a retracement here if we're able to break below this daily support at 136. Okay. Could be in for a deeper retracement. Got a lot of traction here that we'd have to break through. So we'll see. But we could be in for more of a retracement there on this dollar CAD as well. Okay. So this is the daily look down to the 4. Okay. Here on the 4, this one is where it gets kind of choppy, right? Your cleanest look on this one's going to come off your daily time frame. But here on the 4, you got a 618 retracement already. Like I said, the matching D extension is there. Okay. So we'll see if we get another push down, potentially give us a double bottom, right? At the 618 level. Okay. Give us a double bottom here and then give us a nice push back to the upside to get to the matching D extension. Okay. But retracement phase on these dollar crosses and dollar pairs like we talked about. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at here. Is another move to the downside. We see we broke our trend line, bearish push, and now we're getting a pullback. Okay. So let's get to the 1. Zoom out. And it's all choppy here. So let's see. I believe all of these get taken out. Nope. Larger fib here, similar to that 4. Right? Deep retracement, 618, daily support. Right? So if we get another push to the downside and break through that level, that'll be that double bottom look that we'll look for. Okay. Matching D extension again at this daily level. Okay. Questions here on the dollar CAD? All right, cool deal. We looked at the Aussie dollar. Look at the Aussie yen. Still playing in this range, right? We weren't able to fully stay below this daily support level, which we haven't been able to in quite some time, right? And now we're pushing back to the upside, right? So bottom of the range, we're potentially working our way back to the top of the range here, okay? Potentially working back to the top of the range, right? We know risk appetite is increasing. So these commodity currencies, right, picking up a little bit, right? And it's more potentially more just profit taking than a true reversal and a true strength. So we'll continue to watch this to see if we're able to make it back up to the top of this range at 96,536. Okay, coming into some resistance right now, right here. Okay. So we'll see as we get to this level if we push back above it and continue up, right? Or if this level halts us and we turn back over. All right, so we'll take that down to our lower time frames. Go to the 4. Right, on the 4-hour time frame, this is where things get a little interesting, right? On the 4-hour time frame, running the fibs off the high, we're sitting at a deep retracement level, right? This is that daily resistance we just dropped in. Okay, so right at that A boundary. So we're sitting deep in the zone here on the 4, right? From the daily, it's just choppy, just sideways consolidation. We got a 382 retracement, but we know overall the Australian dollar is relatively dovish, but so is the Japanese yen, right? Which causes this sideways movement that we see, which can continue. Okay, but here on the 4, got a nice deep retracement. We're deep in the zone. We'll see if this turns over, right? If this 4-hour candle closes lower, right? That'll give us a 4-hour resistance level here. Okay, we'll see if we get some choppy movement here to then turn over and start to make its way lower. Okay, so we'll watch this closely, right? Coming back to retest some previous consolidation zones there. Okay, so keep your eyes on this one. Deep retracement on the 4, matching the extension here at the 89,167 level. So I'm sorry, no, at the 90,666, right? Which puts us back at, right, this weekly support level right here. Okay, so we'll see. We'll watch that closely. We drop down to the 1 and just a closer look what that 4-hour looks like. Okay, another deep retracement just shy of the 8.6 retracement level there. Okay, puts us below that weekly support level at 90,089. Okay, so watch this, right? I got the cloud on here. I'll use this as confirmation, but if you want to drop your trend lines on, look for a trend line break, you can also do so, like so. Right, wait on a nice clean bearish trend line break. You got your swing high here if we stay below, right? And we'll look for that break and then continue lower. Okay. Kim, talk to me. What do you what clarify your question here for me?
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I had to plug in my microphone. Okay, anyway. I'm used to manually doing the fibs on the trading view. So when you say 118 level and all that, I think I know what you're talking about when it has that shallow retracement. But I'd be getting lost because I'm used to seeing the numbers.
Gotcha.
Like 7, 8, 6, 2, 3, 6 levels.
Yeah. So in Smart Trader, if you hover over them, you'll see them, right? So this is the green line is the 8.6 retracement level. Blue line is a 7.86 retracement level, right? This what's that? Fourth red line is a 6.18 retracement level.
Okay, I see now.
50%. So yeah. So this 7.86 retracement, this blue line, right? The matching D extension is the 127 here, which is down here. Right.
Yes, sir. I understand the color code, but I see what you're doing.
Getting used to the percentages without the actual numbers. Yep, I follow you. I'll hover over them as I'm talking through them, so you can get used to it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Appreciate that. Okay. So that's what we're looking at here. Right now, we could continue to push higher, get to this daily resistance level, right? Which then could take out the A. So we'll watch this closely to see if we get another push to the upside, right? But right now, starting to get some consolidation. We'll see if we get a strong bearish push, right? At the New York Open. See that spike right? And I said these yen crosses in the past couple hours have seen that. We'll see what that how the market responds to that, and see if anything comes out of Japan regarding some intervention or some starting of the intervention coming out of that. Okay, so that's the Aussie yen. Any other questions here? Nope. Cool deal. CAD yen. So from a weekly time frame perspective, right? Shallow retracement, right? Anything less than a 382 is considered a shallow retracement, right? So we're sitting at a 236 level, pushed into this 118, 127 zone. Okay. And now we're getting a sideways push. We broke back above this monthly resistance level. Okay. Headed back to this 109, 598, right? So pushing back higher. At some point, though, we'll see if we get this retracement to actually occur. It's been pushing for quite some time. Okay, so that's on the weekly time frame. We drop down to the daily. You see, we got a 382 retracement here, right? We got a 382 retracement, and we're pushing back to the upside, right? So we'll see if this weekly level of 109 holds, or if price breaks above and continues to push higher. Okay, so this one will be interesting to watch, understanding what's happening with the Bank of Japan. Canada's in a relatively okay space so far, right? So we'll see if we get this continued push higher here, right? But we're going to watch this closely. If we stay below this weekly level of 109, right, we could be in for a deeper retracement here off the daily, following that weekly fib for a deeper retracement. Okay, as we get to the 4, right here on the 4, 86 retracement, right? Deep push here, fibs running off the high, right? Deep push, 86 retracement. We stayed inside the A boundary. Okay, so another push up, we'll take out that A, and we'll run our fib in the opposite direction. Okay, like so. And that sub fib has already hit a D extension, right? So once this candle closes, we'll have a new swing high. And that'll look like that, right? So your 118, 127 zone, right, off that shallow retracement, less than a 38.2, will put you at that weekly resistance level, potentially pushing to give you a double top at that high here. Okay, so we'll watch this one as well to see how this plays out, right? But my eyes are on this 109, 598 level to see if we get some resistance and we stay below. Okay, so this is the look that I'm actually watching for. Is this fib to form, right, and this A to get taken out? Okay, as we drop to the 1, see we're already starting to get some movement here. Okay, and got price did push down, right, to that 382 level, right, with that strong wick that all these crosses are seeing. So if we push higher, right, and get to that D extension, right, 1618 D extension, that puts us in line, right? That puts us in line. Hold on one second. That puts us in line with that weekly resistance level, right? Which gives us some confirmation on the higher time frames. See if we stay below that level, right, on the 4-hour. Okay, so I'm looking for this for another push to the upside, like so. All right, you guys follow me there?
Yep.
Cool deal. Herman, a retracement is just a pullback, right? It's just price retracing. That's part of that wave sequence. So you get extensions, right? Buying, in this particular case, buying of the Canadian dollar, potentially selling of the yen, right? And then you get new levels created, new highs, and then price pulls back. You get profit taking, or you get fundamental changes that cause investors to ultimately start either taking profit or placing sell orders to push price back down, right? And that's what creates those waves. The Fibonacci sequence is simply measures the percentage of that retracement, right? So these levels are, and this is all broken down in the training, right? But these levels are like energy trampolines, right? The deeper the retracement, the shorter the extension. So as price moves down here, right? 618 level, matching the extension is there. After you break that level, those extension levels start to get shorter, right? So these lower extensions, 86%, 78%, right? Those matching extensions are here. Whereas these retracement levels are a little bit higher, not as deep, right? The matching the extension levels are there, right? Yeah, and you can Google. Benny also breaks down in one of the sessions where the sequence comes from, but you see these numbers in everything in our day-to-day lives when it comes to this Fibonacci sequence and some of these key numbers and key ratios. So, but that's it in a nutshell. All right. That's the CAD yen. Okay, that's the CAD yen. You're welcome. Let's take a look at this euro dollar. Euro dollar. So we already got a 382 retracement, right? Been there, pressing down. We're getting this consolidation here. We were able to push back up. We're watching for this to come back and retest this daily level at 98,576. Okay. So now the question is, do we stay below this level and continue making our way lower to the daily D extension, which is down here at 93 cents? Okay. So that's the end destination that we're watching at some point for price to get to, and then we'll get a reset. Okay. But that's the next level off of this daily time frame. Okay. So we got some indecision right now at this daily resistance level at 98 cents. We'll see if this indecision then turns into some dollar strength and dollar and this pair starting to push back down to the downside. Now, if the dollar continues to retrace, you could see this continue to press up. Okay, so don't be surprised if that occurs. All right, we drop down to the 4. This is our fib on the 4. We got a 50% retracement. All right, our matching D extension on the 4 hour, right? 50% retracement. Matching D extension is down here, the 1618 at 90 cents even. Okay, this box comes from your weekly and daily D extension levels. Okay, the weekly D extension is that red line. Okay, your daily D extension is within that box, right? So that's where that box comes from. Okay, but that's the next level. Now, again, if we break above this daily level, we could be headed higher back to at least this 50% level and give us a double top scenario. Okay, so don't be surprised if you get another push up, right? But I'd love for price to turn over and start making lower highs and lower lows and breaking these levels. We'll see if the market moves in my favor, which my feelings don't matter, right? So we'll see what happens here if we stay below this daily level. Okay, we drop down to the 1. Give us a little different look. Fib's running off the high here, right? We're at a nice deep 618 retracement level, right? Market took back 61.8% of this 100% move, right? And now we're starting to see things on the lower time frames turn over. Okay, we'll see if we get some follow through, right? That's what we were looking for. We got it, right? We'll see if we get some follow through now, and price will make those lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so here on the 1, right, if price is to stay below this level, right, we could be in for some crown action here. All right, if price is to stay below that 98 cents level. Okay, so we'll watch that to see if this crown plays out. If price breaks above, we'll look for that deeper push. Okay, But that's what I'm looking for in this euro dollar. And we'll see if this level is the level for us to get short. Okay. Questions here on the euro dollar? No? Cool deal. Euro yen. Check this out. So let's come back here. This was a weekly resistance level here. We broke back above it. We're pressing, right? 149 is the next level to watch, right? If you look at the fib coming off the high on this weekly time frame, right? 618 retracement is where we're sitting. Okay, we'll see if that pushes deeper. We know we got some euro strength, right? We know we got euro strength and yen weakness. We'll see what happens at this 149.791 level. Okay, think that's going to be a key level going forward, right? So that's on the weekly time frame. We get down to the daily. We hit a daily D extension. Okay, came just shy of it here, but we pushed up and pushed through it yesterday, right? Strong push up, we got there. So now price is kind of retesting this daily resistance level that it broke through, right? But we'll see either we get a swing high that forms and we get a retracement to happen, or we get price just to retest this daily level and continue pushing to the upside to get to that 149.791. Okay, so we're going to watch this one closer to see if we get a retracement first, or if we get a deeper push, right? If that's the swing high, your new fib will look like this, right? Which coincidentally puts your 118 and 127 zone right in line with that 791 zone. Okay. In line with that monthly resistance level there. Okay. So shallow retracement at 118 and 127 is something that we could potentially see here on this euro yen, right? So we'll watch, wait, and see what happens. Okay. As we get down to the 4, right? You got a D extension hit as well. And we're waiting for a swing high to form, right? So similar story to that daily time frame, right? We're waiting for the swing high. We need 2 more 4-hour candles to close before that occurs. Okay. So that's what we're waiting on the 4, but we're breaking these levels. Next level is gonna come in play. Okay. So here on the 1, here's where things get a little interesting, right? We got a shallow retracement at 118 and 127 zone. Do we get that retracement first to come back and retest that daily support, right? Do we get that move to happen? That's the question. Okay. That's the question. So we'll watch that to see as price moves. We could not, and to see price continue to push to the upside in favor of that euro, right? Now, if this is a signal that the Bank of Japan is intervening, right, that wick that we've talked about, right, we could see that retracement come sooner. It could just bring that back to that daily level. Okay, so just be aware of that as the New York session opens. Okay, but that's what I'm looking at here. Ultimately bullish to 149. We could get a lower price before price gets there, but we may not get a deep retracement on this one. Okay, so just be cautious of that. Okay, questions here? No? All right, cool deal. Pound dollar. It's been wacky. It's been wacky, right? We're sitting at this previous monthly support, right? All-time low level, right? We came back to retest it, right? Retested it once, came back to retest it again, and we're getting consolidation here. So we're waiting to see what happens coming out of the UK, right? There's tons of back and forth. 1,000 pip move down, 1,000 pip move up, 800 pip move down, 800 pip move up, right? It's just crazy. Things we haven't seen before in our lifetime. So it makes it very interesting. That's a daily support level there, and that's a daily support level there. So this one is up in the air to see where the market takes us, right? But new AV boundary, we'll see how this retracement plays. Okay. As we get to the 4, you see more of the consolidation, more of the back and forth, right? And this is what your fib looks like. You got a nice deep retracement on the 4, right? So ultimately at the end of the day, all of the back and forth with the Bank of England, right? And policy changes, people being let go, right? All it's doing is just creating a zone of consolidation at a deep retracement level, right? And we tend to see this at key levels of support and resistance, right? At key Fibonacci retracement levels before price makes a decision, right? Before the market makes a decision in one direction or the other, right? You get a fight back and forth. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's all this is. This is just a range, right? So we could head to the bottom of the range, then back to the top of the range until the market figures it out, right? So we got some equilibrium in price at this was an all-time low, right? We got some equilibrium there, okay? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We could get a deeper push, right? But if we stay below this level of 141, right, my eyes are on parity, right, which is right in line. You got a 786 retracement level off the 4, right? You're matching the extension is the 127 level, which is right in line with that parity, right? So long term, my bias is short. It's just a matter of how deep does price push before it starts to break down and continue lower, okay? So I'm looking for selling opportunities on this to stay short. Even if price pushes higher, I'll look for a swing high and another opportunity to add to my short trade on this, right? But ultimately, I'm looking down if we stay below this monthly level. If we don't, we'll look at the next daily resistance levels to see then if the market gives us that opportunity to get short, okay? All right, questions on the pound dollar? Cool deal. And then we'll wrap it up with this pound yen. So we finally hit the daily D extension, right? All of this back and forth, all of this consolidation, this deep 1,000 pip move to the downside gave us an 86% retracement, right? This 1,500 pip move back to the upside, 2,000 pip move back to the upside, pushes to the daily D extension level, right? That's what it did, right? All the back and forth pushes to the daily D extension. Now we're getting some consolidation, right? So that's the question is this, right? We'll move to this zone, okay? That next fib, if that's our high, will look like this, okay? But the question is, are we able to stay above this cluster? We got weekly resistance and monthly resistance here, right? Are we able to stay above this zone and continue pressing higher to 175? Okay. Or do we start this breakdown process? Do we get some consolidation here and then break back below this weekly level to give us a retracement, take us into this retracement phase? Okay. So that's the question. That's what I'm watching here. Okay. So as we get to the 4, we got a 382, right? We got a 38.2% retracement here, right? Price took off to the upside. That's that break. Price is retesting it now, right? That's that wick that all these yen crosses saw. So, right, matching the extension, right? 38.2%, 1618 extension is in line with that 175 level. Okay, so there is a possibility if we stay above this monthly and weekly level that we head to this 175. Okay, now all the back and forth coming out of the Bank of England will make this interesting, right? So I have to play this with extreme caution, right? and look for all of our confirmations to enter a trade in either direction. Okay. So as we get down to the 1, that push to the upside created a new AB boundary. Right? Push to the upside created a new AB boundary. We hit the D extension here, right? We got that swing high. So now on the 1, 236 level, right? Less than a 38.2, shallow retracement. 118 to 127 zone, just shy of that 175. So on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, we got some confluence that we could be in for this push higher. Okay, we could be in for that push higher to get to that 175 level, right? Which could kind of be in line with some of the other yen crosses, and the dollar yen getting to that 150, potentially above that 150 level, right? So we'll watch to see if we get this push to this level, and then we'll look for opportunities out of that. Okay. So no trade there, but keep your eyes on it to see what happens on the open. Now, if that intervention does happen, right, we could see that push lower quickly. But if it does not, we could see that rise probably relatively quickly as well. So we'll keep our eyes peeled to see. Okay. That is the pound yen. So let me go down to the 15. Did break the cloud there. We're pushing up. We'll see. No questions on the pound yen. Any questions on anything that we covered this morning? No? Benny, you got anything before we wrap it up, bro?
No, sir. Awesome session, man. Just continue to let things play out, right? Still early part of the week. The what's going on out of the UK, because it's such a large financial market, it is impacting everything. So we just play it day by day, see how things shake out of the UK, because it is a big mess right now. I'm wondering what's going on, because I see that the gilts, right, the rates on the gilts have started to fall off a little bit, and typically that could lead to a decline, with the currency. But we'll see, because we've got a bit of a rally right in the market, risk on rally,
Yeah.
which could create a situation for the pound to show a little strength. So I think it may just bounce around and it may range. So we just have to wait for the dust to settle. That's the markets. That's how it goes. So especially when you're in these longer term swings.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate that, bro.
Yep.
All right, good people. Benny be back with us tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Asian session. All right. You guys have an awesome day. Be patient. Let things play out. We'll see you tonight. Peace.